This episode of Profiles in Risk is sponsored by ITC Las Vegas 2023. InsurTech Connect is the largest gathering of insurance innovation in the planet, offering unparalleled access to the most comprehensive and global gathering of tech entrepreneurs, investors, and insurance industry leaders in the world. This year, this scary, amazing, massive rock concert of a conference is scheduled on Halloween week, October 31st to November 2nd in Las Vegas. Learn more at thenerdsgotoitc.com and use discount code 200ITC113. Come join me, Tony Cañas, the Mad Hatter of insurance, as I run around ITC, recording my third documentary about the event, doing magic, and having a blast. You don't want to miss this. Again, learn more at thenerdsgotoitc.com and use our discount code 200ITC113. Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your host, Tony Cañas, pitching the second one of a triple hitter today. And today I have with me David Watson, CEO and founder at RiskAdvisor. And this might be the highest quality video we have ever produced because the stars have aligned. I have a nice setup. David has a nice setup. We're recording on Riverside, which records whatever quality you give it. So basically, if the editing goes right, this is going to be one for the ages, where you can see just how ridiculously good both of our hair look. So David, thank you for joining me today. I did say CEO and founder of RiskAdvisor, right? Correct.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. And according to LinkedIn, you are in Lexington, South Carolina. Like we were chatting before I started recording, I'm usually in Atlanta, Georgia, so I can only imagine July 6th in South Carolina. Well, happy 4th. And I'm guessing you guys are about 110 degrees and 110% humidity by this time of the year.
You hit it spot on. Yeah, Tuesday when we were out, it was 110 at the hottest point of the day. It was miserable.
Okay. I am currently in Argentina where it's winter.
Okay.
And winter here, a lot more similar to winter in the south of the U.S. than in the north of the U.S.
Okay.
So the first week I was here, it was like 45, 50, but it doesn't really snow ever. And this week it's been like 60s. Like it is redonkulously
Nothing wrong
nice
with
here
that.
in winter. Uh, I'm afraid of the summer because we don't have the AC that the U.S. has. But anyway,
Good
uh,
point.
so David, we always give the guest a chance to give the elevator pitch. What is RiskAdvisor?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. RiskAdvisor is a platform that, on the most simplest view, is a souped up intake form. We're helping personal lines agents currently with home, auto, and umbrella take that conversation that they're having with their clients to intake that data and simplifying it, guiding it. Whether you've been writing insurance for 2 days or 20 years, it's going to take you through the entire conversation and make sure that you're collecting clean, accurate data. And then on the back end, what we're going to do, because we know that there's so many different systems, there's so many different ways to do things, we're going to help you by simplifying the distribution to your CRM, to your rater, to virtual assistants if you're using it for agents like myself that are writing coastal business, sending it out to personal line wholesale brokers. It really is a one-stop shop when it comes to intaking the information and then also distributing it to where you need it to go.
Okay. Um, I'm a former claims adjuster
Okay.
and a couple of years, and then former underwriter a couple of years, and former marketing rep a couple of years. I really think of myself as an underwriter. Really, that was my last stop was middle market underwriting. In personal lines, I did claims basically. So I've never sold. I've never been a licensed agent.
Okay.
Um, I'm very familiar with the agency space. I've worked in
For sure.
agency as an underwriter, as a sales manager, marketing rep, as a recruiter. My girlfriend worked at a very large broker for several years, commercial lines. So I'm very familiar with the agency space, but I've never actually taken a call and quoted an auto or a home. Okay,
Yep.
so in my mind, in my very what's it called, naive mind, uh, the system would be beautiful and they would be intelligently designed and have beautiful UI and give me every question I need to ask and the data would just be handled beautifully and like What was it actually like before RiskAdvisor?
Yeah, so this was originally built in my agency for my team of producers, and it was a situation where we've been utilizing virtual assistants to do our data entry for years now. And when you look at and talk to the different producers in our office, one of them would be filling out a fillable PDF and sending it out to the virtual assistants. The other one would be printing those off and doing chicken scratch notes. Another one would be, hey, here's the deck page, quote this, and not really much direction, so on and so on. And so what I kind of figured out from there is that it wasn't a repeatable process. Everybody was doing their own thing, and it was still a lot of repeat work because then we had to go put it in the CRM, then we had to go put it in the Rater, so on and so on. And so it really was, hey, there's got to be your point of view on it. There's got to be a better way to do this, and that's what we're working on doing right now.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, so the phone rings, or you managed to get somebody on the phone, or whatever. They're in front of you.
Yep.
However, the client came in. Um, RiskAdvisor allows you to intelligently capture all the information you need for auto, home, and umbrella,
Yep.
and then from there, it sounds like it's very customizable. What you can do with that data depending on what systems you use.
Yeah, so we've got some direct integrations with some of the major raters. We've got a direct integration with Agency Zoom, but then you also one of the things that we knew from the get go is we had to have a pretty extensive Zapier integration. One, because it's a huge buzzword in the insurance industry for agents, but two, there's a need for it, and so really any system that you're using that relies on Zapier, we're able to connect to it. So but yeah, it really is adaptable to how that agent needs that information to go to that virtual assistant. We use the term virtual assistant a lot, but that could be someone in your office down the hall that does all your data entry for you. You can set it up however you need to there, sending it out to the underwriters that you work with on an individual basis, sending it out to really anywhere that you need to in a organized and structured fashion, which you mentioned the underwriter and claims adjuster side of you. That's something that is super important right now. But I think as we continue into this hard market, I think organized and structured submissions on the personal line side are going to become that much more important.
Okay. I also found it really interesting that it can easily work with the wholesale market, which, like you said, coastal agents, California agents, etc. The harder the market gets, the more risks are now having to go through wholesale markets, and those historically truly like chisel and stone kind of thing,
Yep.
right? They're even way behind generally in technology. So anything that can help us work with them better is a fantastic win. So
For
as
sure.
so you guys decide to build this for your own agency. Uh, why get it out to the public? Why not just use it as your own competitive advantage? Eh,
Yeah.
why make it available to other agencies?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely that point of view that you could keep it as your competitive advantage. One of the biggest things for me is the I owe so much of my success and my career to this industry, the independent agent industry. And from when I started a scratch agency in 2016, all the way up to going through a couple different acquisitions, it was one of those things that so many of the people involved in this industry have become my best friends. But also, I love helping others, and I felt like this was something that would be very, very beneficial to not just our agency, but other agencies out there as well. And then obviously, anyone who's ever owned an agency has some sort of entrepreneurial spirit. And so being able to dive into that side of things and build a new segment. There's a difference between building an agency and building a SaaS and or insure tech or indie tech, whatever term you want to use there. So that was definitely a draw as well.
Okay, okay, um, okay. So what's the integration like? So we I run an independent agency. I am realize that this is something I could use. I look at your website or do a demo. It looks attractive. Uh, how does it plug into my existing stuff? And what? So you did mention some existing integrations and Zapier.
Yep.
Uh, is that the minimum level at which my agency has to be, or can you work with us regardless of where we are technology wise?
Yeah, no, I mean, what RiskAdvisor does is gives an agency who, let's say they're using pen and paper for their notes, or they're even using a fillable PDF, or let's just say a job form or another form maker that they built out. Um, any of those are a perfect fit for RiskAdvisor because if you're taking notes on a piece of paper right now, you're wasting a lot of time with the transposing of that over to the correct system, whether that's your Rater, your AMS, CRM, or all three. If it's a fillable PDF, again, that's something that you have to transpose over to where you're going to be storing or rating that data. And even with, truthfully, I originally built this for our agency as the before the MVP, the minimal viable product on Jotform. And that was a great fit. And I know a lot of agencies are doing that. But the problem is you still have the issue of integrating with your raters, integrating with your other systems, and doing it well. So, I mean, no matter if you're pen and paper and you've got a row of file cabinets behind you, or if you are an agency who's already utilizing some technology in your agency, it's really easy to plug and play. It's just the biggest piece is with your team is communicating. Hey, this is going to help you have a better conversation. You're going to cross sell more. You're going to close more, and it's going to make the new business and renewal process more streamlined.
What's the pricing like?
Yeah, so pricing is pretty simple. We've got three different plans right now. We've got a proposal only. That's something we really hadn't talked about, but our main plans do come with proposals included. You're putting 90% of the information that you need for a proposal in on the front end. So why not make it easy to generate something that's going to represent you and your brand? So that's $29 a month for two users, and then $5 a user after that. Our light plan comes with everything right now except for the Radar integration. We do include the Agency Zoom integration on the light plan just because Agency Zoom is awesome and they don't charge for their integration. And then on our growth plan, our top tier, it's going to include everything, including the Radar integration. So light plan, $99 a month for two users, $10 per user after that. Growth, $159 and $20 per user after that. I will say that we will be seeing a price increase in the next couple months because we're going to be introducing some more data points. We're going to be able to pre-fill drivers, including driver's license numbers. We're not going to be crossing any of that out. I'm sure some of your user or your listeners have experienced that in the last couple months with a couple different resources, but vehicles will be pre-filled as well. But there's a cost associated with that, so there is going to be a price increase on or an additional plan that's coming out that's going to include that. But the reason I bring that up is what we always try to do is those who have been with us, we're going to, for the most part, grandfather those in that are currently on the plan or come out with a discount for them because of the fact that they've been with us for some time. So new features coming with that. That's going to be super valuable to be able to pre-fill those, but there will be a change up on that pricing a little bit.
Okay. Any other new features that you can already talk about that you're excited that are coming?
Yeah, we have a couple things in the pipeline. We are going to be introducing a couple things that are going to help some agencies. Right now, it's only agent facing. We will be coming out with a client facing solution this year. What we want to build is there's plenty of options out there that have client facing, but what we want to build is a collaborative tool working with the your end user, whether they answer two of the questions, you answer 15 of the questions, or vice versa. You're going to be able to collaborate with those prospects to make it more personal and not just a kind of a handoff. And then we've got a couple other things that will be announced here shortly, but need to get through a couple other things. But if you're an agency who work with carriers that may not be in a rater, I would definitely be paying attention because we've got some cool things coming to help those agencies who have to utilize carriers that don't talk to raters.
Okay, fantastic. Um, so, according to your LinkedIn,
Yep.
you've been running this company for about 3 years, just short of 3 years, uh, and you did mention before we start recording that you're currently going through the 101 Weston accelerator.
Yep.
So, did you go through an accelerator before, or this is the first one?
No, this is the first one. So was really excited uh, to be accepted this one. Especially I mentioned earlier that the independent agency industry has been such a huge part of my story from the beginning. Being able to jump into an accelerator that was started by that industry just made it even more special, even cooler to be part of that. But yeah, we're about a little over a month in, and it's been hugely beneficial and really excited to continue going through that process.
Fantastic. I'm a big fan of all of the accelerators that are by our industry for our industry, right? So Global Insurance Accelerator for the carrier side, Broker Tech, and now 101 Weston for the broker side.
Yep.
Brokers investing in brokers makes a ton of sense to me
Yeah.
because uh, they're not going to invest in a tool that is cool technology that has no use or that is not solving a real problem, right?
Yep.
They're investing in it because it's something they want to use themselves, which gives you the right feedback and it opens the door to a lot more actual potential buyers. So it
Yeah.
just makes so much sense to
A
to
hundred
to,
percent.
to do it that way. Um, how many agencies are already using RiskAdvisor this early on?
Yeah, so you mentioned the going at this about 3 years. I put the date that I formally formed an LLC and all that stuff. We uh we launched came out of beta January of last year. So first full year did had 14 active agencies at the end of the year, and year to date we're currently sitting just under 60 active agencies.
Fantastic.
So definitely seen a huge jump this year, and it's been a lot of fun and a whole different world um, being an independent agent versus working with my peers and selling a product that's for them.
Are you still producing yourself for the independent agency, or are you fully insured tech now?
Yeah, still have the day job with Mappus. That's a good situation over there, and the agency that we were acquired by, they're huge supporters. They were our first enterprise plan on the risk advisor side, so it definitely it's a good situation across the board.
Perfect. What kind of results are the agencies that are using the system? What are they telling you? Any numbers? Any uh,
Yeah,
it's early yet, but what kind of results are they seeing?
yeah. So the thing I didn't really expect was how broad the results would be. So like one of the first things when our first iteration of our marketing site was talking about how much time it would save in the quoting process, especially if you're utilizing virtual assistants for data entry. And we've got quite a few who are saying per quote or per submission or intake, it's 15 to 20 minutes that is saved for each one. But they're also, that doesn't even count on how much time is going back and forth after the fact because they don't have to go back and ask for more information. But the cool thing is we've got it's obviously built around the virtual assistant to help onboard virtual assistants much easier. But one thing I never really saw coming, but has happened in a couple agencies, is there's a couple agencies who are giving the tool to their virtual assistant to make the calls because now they can trust them to they know what to ask next because of the scripting and the workflow that they're able to give them with the risk advisor side of things. And one of the things that we're not quite there yet, but based on time that agencies have been with us, but one of the things that we're really excited about being able to track probably in the next 6 to 18 months is how much time is saved on the renewals that are already in there, because our renewal feature will condense that conversation down to a minute or two before you can get that back out to market, because of being able to compare it to what was submitted last year versus what you need to do this year. So it's been really cool, but definitely the time savings, more efficiency, more comprehensive, more cross selling umbrellas with our estimated liability risk tool, and higher cross sell ratios across the board.
Fantastic. For those that want to learn more, I will tag you and the company on LinkedIn when this goes live.
Yep,
The website is riskadvisor.insure. And
correct.
then at the very top, there's a try it free and a discovery call button. So it looks like it's really easy to get a demo.
Yep.
What is the try it free? What exactly does that get me?
Yeah, so we do offer a 7 day trial. We know, again, being an agent, I know how it can be frustrating sometimes that you've got to pay for something before you even figure out exactly what it is. So we do offer a 7 day trial. We try to do an onboarding call within that trial period to make sure your integrations are set up, make sure you've got your users added, things like that. But if you want to go direct and start that trial, more than welcome to do that. If you want to schedule a call with one of our team members, we can kind of show you the system, try to figure out if it's a good fit for you. Last thing we want to do is have you jump on there and waste your time, waste our time, waste your money, and it not be something that currently fits your need.
Are there specific types of agencies that where you have kind of learned that you're not a good fit for, or is it pretty unpredictable who are going to be the ones that are not a good fit?
Yeah, I mean the main thing right now we get with a name like RiskAdvisor, I think commercial agencies are naturally gravitating towards our website because of that term gets used a lot in the commercial industry. So as of right now, we don't have any commercial functionality. That might be something that we jump into down the road. So if you're a commercial agency or a life and health agency, we're not really a great fit at this time. But if you're currently utilizing virtual assistants or have plans to implement them, it's a slam dunk. It makes it extremely easy to send over. It basically creates that process for you, so you don't have to. And if you're using a rater that doesn't talk that well with your CRM, and your CRM doesn't talk that well with your management system, and so on and so on. If you're looking for a single point of entry to streamline that, definitely a slam dunk there as well.
Fantastic. I look forward to see you guys continue to grow over the next couple of years. Hopefully
Absolutely.
running to you at one of the conferences. So the spring conference season is over, but in the fall, are you heading to Insure to Connect, or where might we be able to find you on your team?
Yeah, so the one that we're definitely signed up for right now is Indie Tech with Jason Cass and his team. We're
Indianapolis.
really excited about that late August. So we'll be there. Plan is for us to end up at IOA, and just got to finalize a couple things over there. A couple of the other ones, we're trying to find the best fit for what we're doing, and I'm sure that's something that you and I can have a conversation on. I know you're basically at every conference, so probably shoot you a message after this to figure out which ones you think I need to be at.
I've had very good luck at uh, Agency Success Conference in Phoenix by Better
Okay.
Agency.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
we went. That was actually our first conference, and we missed it this year. But our first conference we did last year was
I,
was
I
agency success.
I very much liked it. Before this year, I really wasn't doing much agency side conferences. I did a few Big Eyes back in the day.
Yep.
Big Eyes a completely different crowd, much more conservative. Uh, I'm very excited to do more agency side conferences now. Um, You mentioned you mentioned VAs a couple times, and
Yes.
I agree that VAs are very, very important, especially. So I'm on the recruiting side, and in my world, uh, we have lots of demand for account managers and CSRs, and in the new remote world, account managers and CSRs are getting very expensive.
Yep.
And there's a lot of factors that play into it, but basically, I think it's a lot smarter to do the process work and outsource whatever can be outsourced to a VA or to automation. Um, since you have been using VAs, any recommendations for agencies on VA firms that you've had good luck with or you've heard good things about?
Yeah, so huge fan of VAs. You kind of hit it. Last thing I want to be doing is paying my producer 100 grand a year for a $10 per hour task on the data entry side of things. Again, that's really what we've built the original version of this around. Yeah, we've had good success with agency VA with Wes Anderson.
I love them.
Yep.
I love them.
We have some with through Lava Automation. Austin Moorhead. He was helping us with some of our agency Zoom build out. So we've got a couple through him. A really good friend of mine does a great job. Is Rob Lopez with Viva VA. He's got a great shop over there. And then Jason Cass, Virtual Intelligence. I love the approach that he's taken on things as well. I think any of those are ones that you could be successful with. And the important thing, as kind of a plug, but also a something that is important to keep in mind if you're considering VAs, make sure you've got a process in place. No matter how good the firm is, how good the training is, if you put something in front of them and you don't have the process for them to follow, it's going to feel like a failure. And there's a lot of good resources out there. Again, with the RiskAdvisor platform, when it comes to using VAs for data entry on new business and renewals, that we basically give you the process. You basically got it built into the RiskAdvisor platform, but across the board, do yourself a favor, understand your processes that you're going to be asking this person to do. It doesn't matter if it's a VA in a foreign country or someone that you're hiring locally. It all comes down to the processes that you have in place.
Absolutely, process has to be tight, especially with a VA. If the process is
Yep.
not tight, you're not going to get anywhere. Um, any advice? Kind of last question. Any advice for other agents that have an idea for an insure tech and are flirting with the idea of giving this a go?
Yeah, no, this is a cool question. I've gotten asked a couple times here recently on this one, and it's an honor to be asked that. But the biggest thing that I would recommend is one, know that it's going to be harder than you think. it's it's a it's completely different selling software to your peers than selling insurance to your peers, meaning like the people in your community, but then software to agents. But two, if you do decide that it's going to be the route that you want to go down, a lot of development firms will help you with a road mapping session. So I did a road mapping session with a firm in my area. We spent all day talking about, hey, what do you want the first iteration of Risk Advisor to look like? And then we broke it down 3 or 4 times after that to remove the fluff. And even after doing that, there's things that we built inside of our MVP that we spent a lot of money on that are not currently part of the platform. So it's one of those things where you gotta be patient, but you also have to be smart with breaking it down to the bare minimum to make sure that this is something that doesn't just sound like a great idea, but will be a adoptable idea for others.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Uh, Perfect. Okay. Um, I'm out of questions. Thank you so much for coming today. I do
Absolutely.
agree. This is an important thing for agencies. It makes sense to me that the first conversation with the client. No, number one, producer's time is expensive. Number two, the client doesn't want to spend 45 minutes on the phone with you answering every question. Uh, and number three, duplication of work afterwards, moving data between systems is completely wasted time.
Yep.
It's a friction on the process.
Yep.
The more that we can remove that friction, and it seems to me, not being an agent, that the pricing is set up very fairly.
Yep.
So yeah, great work. I look forward to seeing you guys around and seeing you continue to grow. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on.